Thank you. I'm honored to be back here at Purdue. It's been a part of my family the entire time. My dad went to Purdue. He's a former Boilermaker. We used to come to Ross-Ade Stadium, but I never got to sit here. So I started at Purdue in Building 21, about 100 feet from here. That's where I joined Purdue as doing an ME degree. And my Purdue education prepared me very well in both engineering and in business, but it's not easy. I arrived here, they said, look to your left, look to your right, one of them will not be here. True statement. Then there's the junior year in mechanical engineering. Every 3 weeks, you got a fluid dynamics, you got a heat transfer, you got a statics or dynamics test. And then you take a couple hours to breathe and you do it again. But I can tell you that prepared me very well for my career. You have to go through that process. It has to be hard. You want it to be hard because then you can progress from that. During my time at Purdue, I was deciding between co-op and internship. I took ME 200 with Professor Dwight Sensor, and he offered me a summer internship. So I went out to the Thermal Science and Propulsion Center, which is now Zucrow Laboratories, and I started working there with so many great talents. I decided to go ahead and pursue a master's degree in sprays. I got to meet Professor Soika, Professor Heister, so many great talents that have mentored me, and I'm so thankful for all the professors that I got to work with. Professor Soika, I'll call him out, great mentor, and he's done so many great consulting projects for us. Thank you. Professor Heister, the same way. Upon graduation from Purdue, I was doing paint sprays here, and I went to Detroit Diesel, and I convinced them, hey, I know how to transfer paint to a workpiece, and I can work on fuel injection. I can keep your fuel away from the cylinder liners so it's more fuel efficient. They agreed, so I worked there. I worked on reducing emissions for them. I worked with so many talented people at Detroit Diesel, but the education here at Purdue really prepared me for that. I worked there for 8.5 years, and then I went to Eaton, where I've been since then. I was able to work on emissions, after treatment, and during that time, that's when I was able to go ahead and work with Professor Soika on projects for fuel dosing technology for after treatment. Julie Tolley's here tonight. She was part of that project. Then I was able to hire Professor Heister to come up with innovative ways to induce air into after treatment systems to make them more fuel efficient. Then I was back here at Purdue, and I was talking to Paul Soika, and he said, you really need to meet Greg Shaver. So he introduced me to Greg, and we came up with a great partnership. I've been working with Greg for the past 11 years. This all started at a Tigers game. I said, hey, I want to go ahead and work with Cummins and Purdue at the same time. So we invited David Koberline. We met. We said, hey, we got common interest. Let's work with Greg. 1.5 years later, we started it. We did a 7-year program together. This past August, the California Air Resource Board cited more than 10 of our publications together, informing the 2027 diesel emission standard moving forward. That's a great testament to the work that Purdue's doing, the great talent here at Purdue, and the impact it's having on society. I'll also say that Greg gave me the opportunity to work with his students. I consider them colleagues and friends. Great staff that he's recruiting, and I'm following their careers, and I'm friends with them outside of leaving Purdue. That's the kind of impact that Purdue's having on my life and the life of these students. Outstanding job. I would like to thank my family for their support in my career. First of all, I'd like to thank my father, who's a former Boilermaker, my mom, who's virtually watching tonight with my brother, my daughter, Corinne, she's at Franklin Pierce University playing volleyball in Delaware tonight, and my son's at the University of Kentucky playing baseball. He couldn't make it tonight. Finally, I'd like to thank my wife, Stacy, who received her BS in Aero and their MS in mechanical engineering. I thank her for her support. This is a big deal, guys. Thank you for this honor, this prestigious award.